Goodbye, good time, you'll find that's life. Goodbye, good time, you'll find that's life.
There's just too much that has happened. I won't give my heart to anyone that I can't deny. That I think that everyone fucking lies. Maybe I find love after I die. Maybe I find love on the other side. Maybe I find love after I die. Maybe I find love on the other side. After I die.
And we are back, baby. And this time, sound is working. Somebody say hi, just to be on the safe side.
Hello.
Hi.
Absolutely, we're good there.
Right.
It is my favorite time of the year. September has come, and that means fall is here, or at least around the corner. Technically, autumn doesn't start until September 22nd, but here in the deep, dirty South, I always start autumn when it starts to get cool outside, because for 10 of the 12 months out of the year, it is always scorching hot and humid. So autumn is my favorite time of the year. Not only because of the seasonal change, I love the colder weather, I love having the breeze and seeing the leaves fall and everything, but it also houses one of my favorite holidays of the year. My favorite holiday of the year.
My birthday, right?
John, why do you have to ruin everything you touch? No,
I'm like Midas, but shitty.
No, I'm of course talking about Halloween. Sure, there are more popular holidays out there. You got your Christmas.
Like my birthday.
Like John's birthday.
Yeah, like John's birthday, of course. Who can forget the day that
This world was turned to rubble,
That
to
this-
ash in our mouths.
God flipped,
Yeah.
turned upside down.
But, there are people that, Christmas is number one. Thanksgiving usually number two. 4th of July, New Year's kind of on even par. But no, for me, Halloween is my favorite time of the year. And my favorite holiday. One, because it doesn't take all day. It's not an all-day affair. It's, it's at night. You got your costume parties. You put makeup. You put masks and costumes on. You get to pretend for a little while to be somebody that you're not. And that's something that we do multiple days of the week here on Irrational Radio. We come in here, we role play, and we have fun. And Halloween is the day that everybody gets to go out and do it, and it's in the cultural norm.
People don't look at me weird when I go out in my wizard outfit on Halloween. It's the only day of the year.
Every other day of the week, though, you get those stares.
Get the
Yeah,
stairs,
that
yeah.
weird guy.
Yeah.
People keep throwing dollars into my hat for some reason.
But
Like, thank you, but,
I don't need this.
but why?
I graduated top of my class, Hogwarts.
well, I always, starting with September, I love to get into the Halloween spirit. I like to start early, and I started the 1st of September with going back and re-binging one of my favorite television shows, and that is
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Buffy the Space Vampire Slayer. No, a great show, by the way. But no, I am, of course, talking about American Horror Story.
Oh.
There's a new season out right now. It's fantastic. It's kind of Lovecraftian / Stephen King-ish. But I love all the seasons. I can name them off the top of my head. There's Murder House. There's Asylum. Coven.
There's fall. There's winter.
Freak Show. Roanoke. Hotel. Apocalypse. But of course the one.
Sokotoa.
The one. Funny. The one I want to talk about tonight with you guys is, of course, American Horror Story Cult, because
What
Cult
to talk about?
has come up
Yes.
a lot in the past couple of sessions here. One with Mark II trying to
That's the
create
word of the day.
it is the word of the day, trying to create his own robot cult, and then you got- allegedly. And then, of course, there's you heard about this strange character last session, Raishawn, who is apparently a cult leader. So I wanted to ask you guys, what is your favorite cult?
But Jamestown was vibes, honestly. I forget the name of that cult. What was that cult called?
I can't think of it off the top.
I
I know
don't
the
remember.
Jamestown. it comes to mind. I'll tell you what mine is. Mine is the Heaven's Gate cult.
Or Jonestown.
That's what you're talking
Jonestown.
about. You're talking
It's
about
the
Jonestown.
It was-
People's Temple.
Yeah. that's
People's
it.
Temple. That is correct. Drink the Kool-Aid came from there. Of course,
Right.
then you got your Branch Davidians. You got your Manson families. Of course, my favorite.
Kyle, did you look these up today, or is this like a piece of knowledge that you have like already before
We
we
should be
started
concerned
talking
enough
about
to
cults?
call someone.
I will.
Right.
What's the name of the Waco cult? Do you know that off the top of your head?
That's the Branch Davidians, I think.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, you're
All right,
okay.
yeah.
That's at least
Alright,
what
trouble.
Wikipedia says.
But of
You know,
course,
I'm actually not. I'm going to decline that invite to your property, Kyle. I'm sorry.
It's
know why
a
you
great tracksuit
decided-
and all, but
Well, you know, I actually did do a little research today, just to make sure I was on track with this. But of course, my favorite is, of course, the Heaven's Gate cult.
They
which-
had sick crossover with Nike, didn't they? Didn't they have Nike SBs that were like?
They did. It wasn't. It was Nike something. There were some brand new Nike shoes. 39 or so members. Obviously, this is not to joke about people dying or anything. But yeah, well,
as we've kind of been doing.
Regardless of how bad the cult was, they had some sick fucking drip. That's what
Good,
Well-
good shoes. Good taste in shoes.
the reason
You know-
why Heaven's Gate is the one I wanted, is my favorite of today, is because of how
Steering the
relevant
drift.
it is to kind of what we're doing here with Disastronauts. These, of course, some of the belief systems were this comet was coming in. They believed that, you know, they would shed their mortal coil and ascend to their true extraterrestrial forms aboard a spaceship behind the Hale-Bopp comet, and take on their new life in space. And that's kind of what we're doing here. We're shedding our mortal coils every night, or every Tuesday night for a little while to take on new roles in space.
This episode brought to you by Heaven's Gate. Don't join cults.
You know,
Someone-
the Heaven's Gate website is still active. There are still active members to this day, like 4 or 5, that keep that website and the email address up to date. You could email them today
All right.
and ask to join. Of course, they say no. The cult is over. They don't call it a cult, but
If anyone
Yeah.
from Heaven's Gate is watching, I hope you're okay.
That's the classic.
I hope
Like,
you're all right.
yeah, if it's a bad cult, they don't want to be called a cult. They're really uncomfortable with that.
it's
Yeah,
not
the
often.
good cults are all right with being called cults.
Right.
And I'm going to do something a little unorthodox here. It's not often that in this opening bit, I engage with members of our chat room. But apparently we have somebody here who had a family member who was invited to the Manson house the night of the murder. That's crazy.
Oh, that is
Oh,
crazy.
that's crazy.
I did not see that. Wow.
Concerning.
Small world.
Speaking about interacting with the chat, there are a few new features that I have, and it's part of the reason why our last session was so amateur. Is I've been trying to upgrade the stream and the overlays and get all this cool stuff in here. Some of the stuff that I've introduced, and I'm going to show it off here in a bit, are this new alert box system. There are, whenever we have a new follower, this little button here, or this little thing here will pop up, bam, on the screen, new follower. Of course, we don't really have one. Unless someone in chat wants to follow right now, that'd be fantastic. Oh, or,
Wow, the shilling begins.
if
The
you want to
compulsive,
subscribe,
yeah.
there, boom, damn, it shows up.
Look at
Anytime
it.
we have a new subscriber, I'll shout you out. I'll say hi. But the one I like to, I want to go over here a little bit, is the new donation. And it took me about a week to get this right, because one, I had to hack into John's computer and into his bank accounts and everything. Well, I say his daddy's bank account, obviously. So I'm just gonna hit a little button here, John. I thank you for your donation. It's going to be, wow, $95 from John. That is great. Thank you, John.
Oh, thank you, John.
We really appreciate
Wow.
it here.
Thank you, me.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I think of my own donations, I like to get something back. So, what am I getting back for my donation? Are you shouting me out? What are you gonna do?
I won't kill you tonight. How about that?
Oh,
That's a promise.
take
Well,
that. Take
that's-
that.
Let's not go
That's,
too far. You
I
can.
was gonna say, is that
carry on.
contractual? Like, you can do. You've got a plot armor.
I
this.
feel like he set the cult thing up for a very specific reason. I don't know.
Probably not. Because
I don't
we're,
like to consider what I do a cult,
running
John.
them.
We're a family.
Right. Yes.
That's
That's-
right. Alarming language. You don't want to hear that.
I hate that more. Like, if you
Oh.
hear that, you're either in a cult or you've probably joined the mob.
Right. Right. Or I mean, you could have just like a
Cult
big,
adjacent.
nice, big Italian family.
Well,
you know.
In the late great words of Lilo from Lilo and Stitch, Ohana means family. Family
Right.
means everyone's in the cult now. Drink the Kool-Aid.
It's
That's
Kool-Aid.
oh jeez.
Oh, but yeah,
What happened last week?
Right.
Oh yeah, it's Starfinder, right?
yes,
Yeah.
we are here to play a game.
I'm trying to build a cult in game.
That's true. And
Allegedly.
there is there's a lot of barrier you have to go through to do that, because going through and reading about all these cults, real life cults, and of course watching American Horror Story cult. One thing that is consistent through all of them when it comes to the leaders of these families or cults is that they are highly charismatic people, able to convince and just change the truths, or at least bend the truths of the people that come to them, to make them realize or make them believe that what this leader is preaching is the absolute. Now, obviously, I know Mark's stats, and he is not exactly the most charismatic of person, but you have a lot of wisdom, which means you can you have the ability to learn and adapt from things that you or people that you meet along the way. So maybe engaging with people who are considered cult leaders might help you in that regard.
All right.
And
Probably.
Speaking of cult leaders, one was mentioned last week as I go through the recap of last week's session. So you guys arrived on Lucinda 6, and immediately it was not a place that its appearances were not as they seemed. It appeared to be a lifeless, atmosphereless, or with no atmosphere planet or moon. You land, you see a bunch of other starships around. There's a dome. You go inside. You meet a skittermander. I don't remember if you got his name, but he tells you about Vagrant's Hollow, this interior of the planet that is a safe haven for people on the outskirts of the law, and those looking to kind of keep low. There's some rules here that are in place. No killing in Vagrant's Hollow. If you're going to kill, take it outside. No stealing, no taking from other people. If someone else has a job, or there's like a thieves code here, a rogue's code. But you get brought inside, and when you get to the interior of Vagrant's Hollow, you discover that it is some sort of massive holographic chamber, or at least some kind of holo vid is going on to give the perception that this place is much like the American Southwest, like Arizona or New Mexico. Is flat, deadlands, badlands, tumbleweeds, brush, maybe occasional cactus out in the distance, some mountains off on the horizon. Of course, the frontier town of Vagrant's Hollow straight ahead. You go into Vagrant's Hollow looking to make purchases for your ship. You need supplies. You need a new drift engine, because getting out into the vast takes, with the drift engine that you have, will take a considerable amount of time, up to 30 days. But an increase, an upgrade to your drift engine could reduce that by half. So you're looking at a max at that point of 15 days, which is a little more manageable. You go in, you go to purchase these supplies, you go to the general store, A Sketchy Situation, also the name of the episode. And you meet with Sketch Johnson, a skittermander and the brother of the individual who let you in. He tells you, yeah, he's got supplies. You made some purchases. You got some upgrades. In order to get the supplies you need fully, though, he suggests you go and talk to his brother, another brother whose name you have not got yet. But in regards to the drift engine, he tells you about a ship that you saw on the way in that was destroyed, kind of derelict out around
the Harlequin's Touch, or
the Harlequin's
like
Prayer. Good job, John. You remembered something. I'm impressed. But he tells you that there is a upgraded drift engine that you can take, but you got to get permission from the person that has laid claim to it already. A woman named Rishae, who owns and operates out of a place called the Revenant's Urge, which is this large Gothic cathedral-like place off in the distance on a hill. You leave the shop, night falls, you hear some low hum and drumming going on from that building. You see a throng of people making their way towards the Revenant Urge, both undead and alive. You get there, you go in, well, you see a robotic fox, which is a little strange because outside of Mark II, you have not seen any other robotics here yet. You go inside the Revenant's Urge, you find out this is like a dance club, and this is Club Dead. Ooh, that's another good title name. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, Mark didn't like it.
That's good.
You go inside.
That's real good.
You see undead dancers in cages hanging from the ceiling with weapons, kind of doing weapon twirling. Some with exotic animals. You see bungee jumpers coming down from the roofs, mostly undead, who are going on thrill rides.
And are not.
Right.
When you get inside, Aster, you see that fox leads you or goes to a table with a dragonkin sitting there who invites you over. He's cordial. He tells you his name is
Dizzy and Digit.
Man, you are on a roll tonight, John.
Yeah. Wow.
But you meet
The
Dizzy.
only thing I've ever written down in my entire life.
You meet Dizzy and Digit, who tell you that they are part of a crew, another starship crew, the ship the Winter Morn. And he's here with his captain and his crew because they are also here to talk to Rishae about the signal booster, the drift engine booster. And they are currently already upstairs, the captain and another member, talking with Rishae. He tells you he's apologetic. He says, "I'm sorry, we got here first. That's the gig, kid." But Mark II makes his way up there. You all eventually come back together. You make your way up there. You get to Rishae's office just as Neva and Nemelith are leaving. The other two members of the crew, Neva being the Isoki captain and Nemelith being a human female, they're leaving. You have a brief conversation with them. They don't seem to be very impressed by you. You go in, you meet with Rishae, and she tells you, "Yeah, I just gave them the rights to get this signal booster, but I could be convinced to change that agreement if you would do something for me." She originally tried to get Arnott and Aster to give over the rights to their bodies after they die. Whether or not
we were wholly against that.
You were against it. Mark seemed to
Arnott's.
be on the board with that.
Mark was very for it.
I made that executive decision.
I don't
Arnott's
know
come to peace with that.
I don't know if any actual paperwork agreement was signed for that. I think it was just verbal.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh no, there was paperwork.
There was paperwork.
I thought it was just an agreement.
Triplicate,
I could
everything.
be crazy.
If Mark
Yeah.
says there's
remember
paperwork,
anything?
there's paperwork.
I challenge that because Arnott would have made a big thing about that. I feel like that's his jam. I mean, I could just be
No. There wasn't any paperwork because I asked if there was paperwork, and you said no. This is a
You're
totally
right.
verbal deal.
You're right.
Yeah.
right.
But
I remember
That's
that
what I
now.
was thinking.
on top of that, she asked you if you would be willing to go and retrieve from another individual, an enigmatic man by the name of Raishawn,
Yep.
who stole from her.
Yep.
The bodies on the ship, the Harlequin's Prayer, were hers by right. He got there first, took some of them away, and now he has what is hers. She says, if you get these back from him, bring them to me. I will change the agreement with the Winter Morn and give you rights to the signal booster, which you
Right.
agreed. And then you left. And that is
Yeah.
about where we left off last
I'm pretty sure.
session.
Yeah.
So we're going to come in tonight. You guys have just left the Revenant's Urge. And I will say a little bit of a backtracking here. When she gave you the information about Raishawn, I believe she also, I will say at this point, she would have given you the coordinates of where to go within Vagrant's Hollow to find him. But the four of you have just exited out of, let's say four, the three of you, well, four counting Caesar. The three of you have just exited out of the Revenant's Urge into the now nighttime Vagrant's Hollow. The music going on behind you. What would you like to do?
All right, Mark. So, I really like your gusto. You got a lot of panache when it comes to being a captain, and I've been giving out orders and whatnot. Let's maybe not give away the crewmates' bodies as a trade for things.
If the wrong is not in me, or the result of something I have done, or harmful to the community, why should it concern me? How can the community be harmed by it anyway?
Well, technically that does make sense. It's not really harming me because I'm dead.
Correct.
But
do you have any religious or sociological issues with the concept of death? I could help you.
He crosses his arms and huddles down. No.
Would you like to know how long you are from starving to death?
No. Let's just go. She gave you a map, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
you have the coordinates you can access on your database. It's not like an actual map, but you can
Right.
type in the coordinates and you can see where you are on. You've pretty much got with access from that and from the little bit of information that you gathered while on the ship. You've got a basic layout of Vagrant's Hollow, the interior now, and looking over where the coordinates for Raishawn's base, which all it says is the location of the building is called the Singularity House. Putting together, is there something equivalent of like a survival check or something of that mark?
There is just a survival check.
Yep.
And anyone looking at the map can make a survival check.
All right, I will roll here. I've got a very good survival.
I'll take a cheeky peek with him. Not that it'll help much.
All right, I rolled an 18, which isn't amazing, but
17.
ah,
Easily enough. Looking over the map, looking at the coordinates of where you are now, coordinates of where the Singularity House is, and realizing now that the interior of Lucinda 6 and Vagrant's Hollow itself is much bigger than what you probably originally anticipated, you determine that it would take you about 2 days of like manual of walking to get to these coordinates, and it's to the northeast.
we must find some kind of transportation other than bipedal locomotion.
you think they have horse-drawn carriages?
Perhaps. Or perhaps some kind of machine amalgamation.
I don't like the words that you just used, but okay, let's go have a look.
Very well.
Aster's gonna look for like rentals, like a rental shop.
Yeah, there is a local stable if you head back into town. It is right by the sheriff's office, and you notice as you're walking into town, which, by the way, for the most part is completely dead at this point. No pun intended.
Hey.
As either most people have either gone to the Revenant Surge to party or have gone home for the evening. A lone tumbleweed, of course, rolls by. But you notice that the lights of the general store are going dim at this point, and you see old Sketch Johnson. Oh boy, we just lost an Eric.
Oh no.
Yep, we just lost Eric.
Oh boy. Old Sketch Johnson is leaving the general store and is making his way over to the sheriff's office. Oh, he's back. Good.
Woohoo!
I'm sorry, everybody. Apologize for the inconvenience there.
You're good. The only thing you missed out on was that you all noticed that Sketch Johnson, the owner of the general store, is also he's shut down shop for the night and is making his way over to the sheriff's office.
Gotcha. I was going to say I was able to hear bits and pieces of that. I apologize there. Internet's
And next
stops being crappy here.
next to the sheriff's office, there is a stable where you do see like actual real life. They're not horses. Go ahead and make is there a nature check or a life science?
Engineering?
I think it might be life science check. They're not. They don't
Yes.
appear to be mechanical.
21.
21. Yes, you would know these. They are as large as a horse, at least lengthwise and widthwise. They're not as tall. They appear to be lizard-like in nature. These are iguanodons.
Ah, yes. Iguanodon. A reptilian creature native to climates such as this. They lay clutches of 14 to 15 eggs at precisely 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
Seems legit.
Right.
Their meat
Right.
is a delicacy in some cultures, but their liver is toxic as it contains more vitamin C than a human or most other species can metabolize.
Do you do this for every animal, or
I
like,
would,
interesting
I can,
facts?
if you would like.
No.
What parts of Asta here can we not eat? Other than the metal ones, obviously.
Correct.
God.
Space goblins are, in fact, a delicacy in some outer rim cultures. Most of the parts of a space goblin that are not replaced with non-biological components can be eaten or boiled down into a nutrient-rich paste.
Isn't that
Very,
nice?
very, very thrilling. Let's get the show on the road. And by that I mean stop talking about eating me.
If you insist.
I do.
There are several very interesting recipes for space goblin I was not aware of until I have.
Hey, is anyone here? Anyone at all? Any other human being, maybe, or creature that can sell us something before he tells me how to serve myself?
Yes, what would a good wine pair?
See old Sketch Johnson turn around and open the door to the sheriff's office. Welcome back, y'all. Meet the Rishae. What you need?
Affirmative. Negative.
No, that actually makes sense. Yeah, that's
We
right.
did, yes, we did the first one, but we were unable to accomplish the second.
You can see now that he has blazing on his chest a golden star. And not only is he the shop owner, apparently he's also the sheriff. Is there anything else I can do for you? I'm sorry, the shop is closed for now, but if there's anything else you need, I'll be more than happy to help you out.
I am curious. When your shop is open, is the town a lawless area?
Well, it's kind of tough to do both at once, you know. My brother used to do it, but then we put him up front to kind of guard the riffraff from coming in. I kind of filled in, took the spot. And normally things are pretty quiet around here. Everyone obeys the laws, obeys hollow for the most part. But at night it can get kind of dangerous, and, you know, especially out in the wild. So it's nice to be on there in case people need some help.
We require some of these Iguanodons to make a long journey.
Well, you're in luck. We have a few in stock, and I'll be more than happy to oblige your request. Now, we typically we don't deal with sales this late at night, but considering you folks were kind and bought some stuff from the shop, I'd be more than happy. I might even give you a little bit of a discount. How many days you looking to have them for?
At least 2.
2. All right. Well, it's 25 credits a day, right? This does not include feed. You're going to have to feed and water them yourself. Now, these aren't horses. You understand that they eat meat.
They are Iguanodons. Yes,
okay.
they lay clutches of 13 to 14
All right,
eggs.
all right.
That's okay, thank you. That's bad.
All right. Well, you need what? How many you need? 3, 4?
3.
3's fine. Yeah.
One of you guys is gonna walk. He looks over at Caesar.
No, we'll ride.
Caesar will ride the Iguanodon, and the little space goblin Asterix will ride the machine.
Well, all right then. So 3 Iguanodons is 25 for 2 days. That's 50. So 150 credits then.
I appreciate it.
Now, what are you saying about 100 flat? You know, I mean, we're gonna feed them. You know, we got a little bit of schmoozing to do with them. We got to, you know, they got to do some work. We got to do some work. You know what I'm saying? So, 100 flat. Money on the table.
Make it diplomacy.
Alternatively, you could provide us with credit of 150 credits that we repay later.
What do you think about a 7 on that diplomacy? What do you think? Yeah, pretty high, right?
At 7. It's a solid, resounding 7.
You drive a hard bargain there, and I would love to oblige you on that, but unfortunately, these are the only Iguanodons I have left, and I got to make sure that I got the credits to take care of them. And
He's still shooting him finger guns as if he might change his mind.
I'm afraid I gotta settle. I gotta say a hard pass on that. It's gonna have to be 150.
May we have them on credit and pay them back at a later date? Once we have the 150 credits in full, we can provide you with half now and then half later.
You can also make a diplomacy check, and there will be a bonus to this.
That seems...
Nat 20.
which is a 19.
Which is 19 for
I
Mark.
love it.
Well, son, you got the hat and you got the red eyes. You kind of give me the creeps, but I could tell that there is something about you that I want to trust. So
Yes, I am a prophet of the god Triune.
well, I don't know lick about that, but
A prophet is a avatar or messenger of a god or greater being.
Mark, stop selling. Gives him a thumbs up.
look, you seem like nice folks, and I'll be if you give me half up front, I'll take the other half when you get back. But you gotta these iguanodons gotta come back in one piece now, and they gotta be well fed and watered.
Of course.
Yeah, I bet we could do that.
To what tolerances?
Action.
I just don't want them dead, kid.
I believe
If we
can
watered
manage
or
that.
fed them too much, they would end up dying.
All right. So
I
yeah,
imagine
we
as
can,
long as we're not forcibly feeding them, they should be fine, right? Any no-no
Right.
foods like onions or something.
Well, I haven't yet found anything that an iguanodon that if they eat it, it doesn't agree with them. They tend to enjoy meat more. Now, if they get desperate, they will eat vegetables, but it kind of makes them ornery. So I would avoid that.
No, I imagine where we're going, there'll be enough meat to go around. Don't worry about that.
That's a scary statement. I don't want to know anything more about that.
Oh, he's gonna look down at the wrap that his brother put on his blade arm.
Mhm.
Is that something I could just take off, or is that like locked? Did you just put a rubber band around my arm, like oh, he
like
won't
a
use it?
crab.
Yeah.
Just
You make an engineering check.
Okay.
they've lobstered you. And just,
I was lobster. Wow, 12.
Oh yeah, you're rolling hot tonight.
No.
You deduce that it would not be too terribly difficult to get this off if need be. You could probably cut it off with another blade or some kind. It doesn't appear to be anything metallic or anything like that. It's kind of like a rubber band almost, actually.
Very good.
Excellent. Yeah. All right. Thank you for the iguanodons.
Or do you guys need saddles or anything like that? Are you gonna ride them bareback?
Oh,
Yes,
I
is
like
that a thing?
That's a true cowboy spirit right there.
I walk with nature until the day I fall down and find rest.
Yeah, then you're sitting with nature or something.
right.
All right, let's get the show quite literally on the road.
Excellent. Are we right? So riding the giant lizard beasts, then excellent. Good. That's fantastic.
Yes,
Who's paying him? I guess does it? I can take the 75 credits off if nobody else has got it.
Yeah, when it comes to funds, I'm gonna leave you guys in charge of that. I will trust you.
I was just among us, so we don't have multiple people take it off, but that somebody pays it.
I
guess.
have no funds.
Right.
I think I have just pennies left to my name.
He will pull out 75 physical credits and head them on over there. Say, I appreciate your assistance in this matter, Mr. Sketch.
Well, that's the least I
Sheriff
can do.
Sketch, I apologize. Yeah, he'll tip his hat in return since he bought cowboy attire. Fancy pants.
I got a hat
sheepskin
welded to
jacket.
my head.
That's true.
You
Vaguely
tip your
hat-shaped
head.
lump of metal.
Yep.
Well, all right. Again, you guys look like nice, kind, respectable folk. So I expect you're gonna follow the rules here. And remember, no killing, no stealing. Gonna kill, take it outside.
Right, we would never do that. Any
Or
of that
not.
stuff.
Or
Any of
not.
the things you just said, no, never, not once.
And if
That
you
is, of course, a lie.
No, that's
I
it.
mean,
Oh, Captain,
We'll
you,
refrain from engaging in that behavior, and
Right.
within
We're-
the confines.
we're
of
going
the
to short
area,
try.
I think.
We have very limited tolerances.
Shit gets real sometimes, you know.
all right.
Aster's scurrying up with Caesar onto one of the iguanodons.
We
as
should
fast as he
probably
can.
go. Yes, look at the time. He's like looking at the sun and then down his watch, which I don't think has a
Thank you,
watch.
lawman of the hollow.
All right. Well, you guys be safe. It's dangerous out there in the flats.
That statement is paradoxical. Good day.
And he gives you a strange look and then heads into the sheriff's office.
That man had a rustic sort of charm.
Charm is a way to put it. That's one way that someone could put it. Yeah.
Was quite homey. Yes, I appreciated him.
You hear a whir click, and then you see Mark loop up onto the Iguanodon, and he says, "All right, let's get this show on the road." And then another click.
I don't like that you do that now. That's a weird now thing.
I quite love it, actually. It's hilarious.
Is it
Bit
not
unsettling.
appropriate?
No, it's quite
No,
appropriate. Very
appropriate.
fitting, I would say. As he's
Concerning,
like
but appropriate.
cautious.
I am sampling several terabytes of ancient Western media to pull from.
Well, Starfinder, surprisingly, does not have animal handling as one of the skills. I guess they didn't expect you guys to be writing anything, but
Don't worry, Kyle. I'll roll computers. Don't worry.
I think this is all
Totally
tied
reasonable.
into life science.
Okay.
Downloading instructions on how to ride Iguanodon.
I would say life science or survival.
Ooh, there is a survivor.
Connection error.
Hoo-hoo.
The nat 20 for the boy.
It's the dirty 20 for our not there.
Mark rolled a 10.
All right.
Great.
Group effort,
Get
easily
along,
enough.
little doggies.
Yeah, it's a little harder going for you, Mark, but it doesn't buck you, at least. And you head off into the northeast direction, leaving the town of Vagrant's Hollow in the dead of night, in the direction of the place you only know as the Singularity House, looking for Raishawn. It is a 2-day journey, and instead of role-playing all of this out...
Well, you said it was 2 days if we walked.
If you walk, that's right. So
we are on Iguanodons.
you're right. So that actually does cut the time down. We'll say you probably get there.
1.5 days.
No, these Iguanodons are actually surprisingly fast, especially on the desert terrain that they're on, almost as if they're acclimated to it.
They can reach up to 73 kilometers per hour.
That's pretty fast.
Is that real?
Really
I don't
fast.
know, I just pulled that out of my
Because
hat.
that seems real fast.
I like
I don't know
that
how
now.
big they were though. So like to maybe that I don't know.
Are you wearing your
Could've said
helmet?
100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, really? Like dinosaurs are cool.
That's popular.
Now this is pod racing. Ah!
All right. So what would have been a 2-day journey has been cut down to about a little under a day. You get there, or you travel throughout the night, and with a very lucky random encounter roll, you manage to avoid anything out of anything that would be dangerous. You do occasionally pass, the lone cactus. What's strange, as you guys you're heading off this direction, it appears like as you look all around you, it seems that there is a constant perimeter around you of these mountains off in the distance, and you never seem to get closer to them. There's always on the horizon. But the terrain does change. You pass by the brush and a few cactus. You see some local wildlife, some scorpion-like creatures that are actually about the size of a dog off in the distance. That they begin to approach, see the iguanodons, and then hightail it out of there. Apparently, these lizards are at least some sort of predatory nature, and
Those are not edible.
I hope not.
But
No.
as you travel on,
Edibles in the eye of the beholder.
eventually and it appears that you're very close to almost like a 12-hour cycle here, day and night. As you continue onward to the northeast, the night sky eventually begins to dim out. A morning sun coming in over the horizon. The sky is constant changing. The horizon is not. The morning sun comes in. You get the bright red and the majestic oranges. You keep going, and about midday, or close to it, how appropriate for a Southwest setting. You get on your data pad. You get a ping that you are about an hour away from the coordinates, And as you crest over a little bit of a desert hill here, you can see a lone building off in the distance that is almost like in a valley, kind of. But as you look over, you can see it's not a valley. It is almost like a ravine or a moat of some kind that has been constructed around this building to kind of separate it from anyone on the outside. And there is a lone rickety bridge that crosses it. Go ahead and make perception checks.
That's trap.
19.
Oh yeah.
I've built enough dungeons to know that rickety bridge is going to fall over. Nat 1. Oh no, I rolled a nat 7, so that's not a 1. I rolled a 15.
7 altogether, but not
Nice.
1 on the die.
Yeah, 9, 1 on the die. Ooh.
Arnott, the noonday sun and the heat and the mirage-like qualities of the air around you kind of make it difficult for you to ascertain what you see out in the distance. But Aster and Mark, you see that in the perimeter around this building, on the other side of the bridge, you see small figures, probably individuals of some kind, that are walking about. You can see maybe 3 or 4. Hard to see from this distance. You got to get closer to find out what they are. But it does appear to be some sort of life or unlife, it's hard to say, at this place. There is something going on here.
As Aster sees that, he's going to immediately snap his fingers and have Caesar's new blade shoot out of his arm, and then he's going to cut the little rubber band, stopping him from opening his blade.
Sure, easy enough. It was not much of a deterrent, honestly. It was more of a...
if this is broken, you broke the rules.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, what would
That's
you like to
okay.
do?
Shall we investigate, or would you two enjoy to spend more time observing?
Arnott looks up from the episode of Buffy the Space Vampire Slayer that he is too distracted watching to know, and he'll look around and say, "What? Oh, well, I suppose we ought to see what they're about, right? It could be that Raishawn folk we're looking for. It's in this general vicinity, right?
Yes, and they also could be bandits looking to steal our belongings.
I'd like to see him try.
That would be against the rules, though."
Why would you wish for them to attempt such an action?
I haven't had a chance to use, my new baby.
I see. Well, perhaps you should go first. Your threatening posture and general demeanor may make combat more possible.
Or we could just perhaps, saunter on over there and see what they're up to. He shrugs. Like,
The best way to
Eh?
start a fight is to start a fight.
Oh, right.
I can't argue with that.
I could walk up first, and then you guys could be a little bit behind me, maybe.
Correct.
Try to
yes.
scare him off.
Sure, it works for me. Kind of like doing a big sweeping after you bow on the
As
back
you
of this.
bow, Aster's going to take your hat off and put it on his head.
That's
He's going to start riding
paid
off.
good credits for that. As you're like riding off.
And it's far too big for his head, so he has to hold on to it.
It's good.
All right, so you're heading down to... Okay, are you going stealthily or are you just riding right up?
So these guys are just out in the open. They're not guarding anything in particular, it looks like.
Based off that perception check, they appear to be on a... It seems to be a set patrol, almost as if
Okay.
they're like kind of looking out. Getting a little bit closer, you can see that they do wield weapons. But at this point, either you're going to approach in the open or you're going to try to approach stealthily, which is be kind of hard to do, considering it is noon and there's not a whole lot of cover around you.
Right. Yeah, I'll just approach.
All right.
We'll be, 10, 20 feet behind him
Right.
kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you approach, as you get closer, you can every step you get closer, more and more is revealed to you, and As you get about 200 or so feet away from the bridge, you can see now that these individuals walking around do not appear to be fully alive. They appear to be similar undead to what you saw out and about in the parking lot area of Vagrant's Hollow, so to speak.
Okay.
There does seem to be some semblance of higher intelligence to them because they are on a patrol and are carrying weapons. And as you get closer to the bridge, you see two of them begin shambling their way over with these long arms of some kind, stop and just point them in your direction.
Hey, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Not to be racist or anything. We got some business with your boss, if that's okay. No, I don't speak that language.
I speak common.
Very well, it sounds like good.
Are you here to join the cult? Or are you here to get ascended?
Yeah, we heard a lot about your cult, and we'd love to be not alive.
We can make that easy for you right now.
No, like later. Like I want to feel the whole experience first. There, I don't want to have to deal with it now, right? You understand? Like I really like that whole pain thing, so I'd like to do it later, like after we get like maybe a trifold pamphlet or like some new Nike SBs.
Make a diplomacy check.
Can I get you a bluff check?
Yeah, you can do bluff.
Full circle.
14.
Oh man.
14.
So close to that 20.
Ugh.
Who sent you to meet with the great leader?
Oh, no one, us. We did. We sent ourselves. We heard a lot about you from that nice club with all the other lovely people who are not as living as I am right now.
You come from the Revenant Urge.
Yeah, some back alley talk, so to speak, of like how you guys do business, and we like it.
I wish to be undead.
Yeah, he does. He loves that stuff.
The one individual turns to the other, kind of mouths something. One turns away, like he turns around so you can't see him. See his mouth, reaches down, pulls out a walkie-talkie.
Distracting hack!
Okay. What does that do?
Or Arnott can do his thing if he's close enough.
No, by all means, do it. I was just like, oh shit, nice call.
I want to catch him off guard, and I want to charge him. Actually, I don't have to use distracting hack. With my new specialism,
Specialism.
specialization,
Like
I am
specialism
a
better.
I am a hacker operative, which means I can use computers to make a trick attack. So I would like to
What?
cause a distortion in his walkie-talkie to catch him off guard and charge him with my power sword.
Okay.
Oh. I was thinking like you'd bonk people with laptops.
So
I can't.
Yeah, that's what I thought that you were.
I cannot do that.
so you are still on the other side of the bridge, right?
Oh, so we're far away.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I take it back. Carry on.
I just want to make sure.
All of that.
Thought it was a little closer. Never mind.
How far away are they?
Out
of curiosity,
there's
since we
the
have a
bridge.
bit of a
The little
pause.
ravine is about 50 or so feet across.
Okay.
And you look down, looking over the edge of the ravine. There are the skeletal remains of all kinds of creatures down there.
Ooh.
Not reassuring.
Yeah,
That is a trap.
You don't say.
but
I do say. I in fact just said.
Great.
But if you're not charging, or you're not doing any of that, he turns around. You see him say something, or he does something with the walkie-talkie. Moment passes. There's a reply.
Raishawn would like to meet with you. You may pass.
Thank you.
Great.
Careful on
Nope.
the bridge. It is in need of repairs.
Do you mean it is a trap? meant to dissuade people from entering without your explicit permission.
No. No, we don't have anyone to repair it. It's just old.
I highly doubt that.
I would recommend leaving your mounts behind.
You know, we paid some good money for them, so we're gonna have to bring them with us.
We are responsible for these animals.
Right.
Yes, they'd need to be returned to their, the place in decent condition, and we need to keep reasonable care of them in the interim. They'd likely get eaten or something out here, I would think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your funeral.
Hopefully, right?
Oh, this is just like a bridge thing. He's like looking at the bridge and like, oh, wait. That's just a lot of... I think they're perhaps just concerned they're very heavy and will break the bridge.
Oh.
He looks over at the rest of us. I'm not sure that makes our situation any easier to deal with, but I suppose not it on going first.
You could make an engineering
Sucks.
check on the bridge if you'd like.
Okay.
Oh.
That is something you're good at.
Right.
We're both
That'd be
super good.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take
the-
those.
The structural soundness of this bridge appears to not be of the highest quality. The wood is old and in some places rotten. The rope looks frayed in certain places. It doesn't. While it looks sturdy enough, and there are certain places where boards have fallen out and fallen into the pit below. It could, based off those engineering rolls, if you were to cross one at a time on a mount, you would probably be okay. But everyone on at the same time with the mounts and with Mark's significantly heavier weight and with Caesar's significantly heavier weight, it would be a very dangerous endeavor.
Right, so, one at a time then, I suppose. And we should be just, okay, he shrugs.
If that is the case, we should get off the mounts and walk them across the bridge one at a time. If the
Yeah.
bridge breaks, we have a better chance of surviving if the mount falls into the ravine.
I weigh the least so I can walk the mounts first, and then we can all cross over.
Sure.
No, we must walk the mounts one at a time. You will not be able to walk
Oh,
all
no, I
three
mean,
mounts.
I could
He's
walk
the-
one, come
it's
back.
the least
walk one, come
additional
back.
weight with
Right.
the mount, kind
Good.
of idea.
I am glad we do not have any foxes or chickens.
I was thinking that too. Right, just sheep or whatever.
Right.
And,
Correct.
He'll hop down and, ready his Iguanodon for transport as we
Yep.
choo-choo our way
right.
across, I guess.
And I'll start leading him over.
So, if Aster is doing this solo with all three
Yep.
mounts individually,
No. Yeah, yeah.
then let me make some rolls.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man. There you go. Just like that, you took all of the risk of dying.
Great.
The moment you step onto the bridge, if you no, you hear the sound of wood creaking and the creak of the ropes as they sway. You look down, and it's probably a good 60 feet down. It's a pretty deep ravine here. You see the bones down below. Go ahead and give me another perception check as you're making this march across there, Aster, since you're on the bridge now.
26.
26. You see, you only have a visual of this short little bit of this circular little ravine here, but you catch out of the corner of your eye movement down below of some kind of four-legged creature. It is lightning fast, and as you turn to get a better look on it, you see it disappears around the corner, carrying with it like a large part of a carcass that still has meat on it, and just drags it back. But
We don't want to fall down there.
But as you make your way
Correct.
across, the bridge sways and creaks. But you make it across with the first Iguanodon, no issue. The walk back with just the weight of you, obviously no issue. Second Iguanodon, time to make a roll.
You're doing great. Keep it up.
Thank you.
I'm going to turn to Arnott and say, he has a 66% chance of falling to his death.
I'd say that's perhaps a bit high. I'd put
Yes.
it 50-50.
What'd you say? You say
Nothing.
something?
You're doing wonderful.
All right.
Thumbs
Good.
up.
You are performing at high expectations.
Always do.
That is not true.
Your second trip across, you get about halfway across, and you hear below you, the board you're on, you hear a snap, right? The board doesn't break, but you hear a snap, and it kind of gives a little bit. Luckily, though, the second trip across, nothing happens. You make your way back across for the third time.
I will visually or mentally mark that board.
All right.
I'll spit on it actually, just to remember.
Good call.
Man,
That is a good call.
lucky ass rolls on my part. You go to step across the third time, leading the third and final Iguanodon across. You notice the board, you step across it easily enough. The Iguanodon, being led by you, doesn't know any better. It steps on it, and when it puts its foot on it, it snaps and cracks and falls down below. But it's only like that wide of a gap. Its foot goes down for a little bit. The bridge sways violently for a second.
Yeah, Aster's like holding on to both ropes, or probably only one. He probably can't reach the other rope. So,
but as the board clatters to the ground below, the Iguanodon's foot comes back out, and you manage to get all the way across again. No issue. You lucky son of a bitch.
Wow. He did it. I knew he was going to. I had 100% faith in him.
Mark, that's a lie.
I did it.
Correct.
I'm the best, right? That's what I am. I'm just the best.
Absolutely. It's just yelling across. I think he'll then just walk across. Do we have anybody else we need to stagger? I suppose. I know.
I will go by your words on this. Mark, how much do you weigh, and how much does Caesar weigh?
Let me check the old character sheet here. I guess it doesn't give a. I didn't write
I
down
would assume
a
like
weight.
300 pounds.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 350. I am a giant refrigerator full of blood.
Okay,
I'd say Caesar's about equal since they're
Okay.
the same build.
that's good. Anything much higher than that would have required a roll. But yes, one by one, keeping an eye on that one board, you're able to make it across, no issue.
Yo, the board that's gone, just don't step on that because it's gone.
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah, no problem.
That was not helpful.
See,
Yeah,
I was
no.
planning on just trying to put my feet right through there, assuming I would then fly across.
That is physically possible. Are you feeling all right or not?
Yes, I think anyway. He kind of like looks over himself. He's like still living, for now, and then looks over at
Ow.
me. Undead folks.
Once you're all across, the undead, both of them, same time, just turn and look at all of you and begin, like they gesture towards the building.
Inside, he's waiting.
Great.
Thank you.
Perfect.
All right. As you make your way in the direction of the Singularity House, it is not a very large building, at least from the visual you have right now. It appears, best estimates, to be about 100 by 100 feet. It's almost like a small warehouse. It's made out of some sort of gray. It's not made out of wood. This is and not like the Gothic design of the Revenant House. This appears to be very futuristic in design, as far as like gray metal that has been sprouted up here. There is a pair of double doors ahead of you, and you can see on above one of the left-hand door a camera that, as you approach it, the camera turns and follows your direction as you make your way towards the door.
Ask yourself, how, in this moment, am I using my mind?
I was just considering what it'd be like if we're dead and how being undead plays into the agreement with our corpses. Because, I mean, technically we would no longer be alive, but I'm not sure we'd really qualify exactly as dead.
I think that's
Either?
probably what she'd want.
In
Like,
fact,
to be dead.
why don't I show you the map?
Ooh.
We don't need a map. What's a map
Maps are
for?
overrated.
Yeah.
Well, here we are at the front doors.
All right. Are we gonna play along with the we want to send or whatever thing, or are we just going in start cutting things apart?
Perhaps I am offering your fleshy bodies to this undead cult in exchange for some kind of reward or payment.
Yeah, not that that's out off brand for you.
Correct. I have done it before.
Sure have.
Yes.
Oh, is it dark? Is that why I can only see me?
Oh, that's weird. No, I can see all four of us
Yeah,
in
me
like
too.
kind of a hallway outside thing.
I think it's.
I only have low
I
light
know what it
vision.
is. It's because you don't have inherent night vision, and I didn't put a light down.
Ah.
Give me 1 second.
Ah.
I will put a light source.
Ooh.
Oh, I see what's going on. There we go.
Very blue.
Fancy.
Yeah, I'm just throwing lights everywhere because it's daylight out,
Everywhere.
and you can see.
Wow.
All right.
Right. Excellent.
What would you like to do?
I believe we should go inside and converse with her.
Right. Yes, play this as long as we can anyway. I'm really hoping we
Right.
don't sort of inadvertently fall into this, sort of stuck in this hole.
I have a
Yeah.
serious question for both of you.
At where
Which one of you are more adverse to becoming undead?
Probably me.
Agreed.
Yeah, probably.
And Mark's
Right.
going to step inside.
All right.
Wait, what? Okay.
Easily enough. As you step forward,
Easily enough, you step inside.
again, the camera follows you. But as you step up to the door, you hear the sound of electrical, like computer beeping, and you hear a lock undo. And as you push the door, it opens in, no issue. Looking inside, the double doors of this building, as you step inside, is flanked by small plants with blood red flowers and segmented leaves that resemble finger bones. On the northwest wall, a computer with two large screens display promotional videos and a user interface that looks like it could be interacted with of some kind. Let's see. There's some chairs.
Wow, they give dental. That's incredible.
Looks to be like some sort of waiting room.
All right, what's the guy's name again?
It is
Raishawn?
Yes. Raishawn.
Okay.
I'm less confident on the guy part.
As you
I
step
don't know.
inside, Mark and Arnott, the display of the computer on the northwest wall lights up, and you see an individual's face appear, big and large, almost like how you guys are on my Discord screen here. Have you guys ever seen Megamind? That CG animated.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very similar looking dude. This guy's
Destroy all humans. I get it.
like a very light purplish grayish skin. Head kind of comes to like a bulbous kind of round, completely bald, and two like jet black eyes. And it comes on and goes, "Welcome to the Necroforge. I shall show you what immortality looks like."
Excellent. I'm interested in this topic.
Love immortality. It's one of my favorite mortalities.
Just kind of nodding and clears the stone.
The video appears to replay again, as if this is just some kind of welcome
Oh,
message.
it's not like an interactive
Welcome
bit.
to the Necroforge.
Oh,
Perhaps we should go through this door. I believe this is some sort of interactive display.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Unless Aster, unless you're more into
if you
operating the box.
are you trying to interact with the user interface on this computer?
That was the general idea.
Sure.
Yeah, I think he's gonna head over there and start
Sure.
clickety clacking around.
The moment
Bleeping and blooping.
The moment you touch the interface, a little prompt comes up, basically asking you to identify yourself and to check if you have an appointment.
The crew of Captain Mark II.
Thank you.
With the Dreadnought. Walk in.
No. You misspelled Disastronaut.
Oh, shit. Then yeah, because I'm sure he did. Oh, I get it. Like Astro. Okay. He nods.
Right.
Like stars.
Now you're getting it. Very good.
Hack the mainframe.
I suppose.
Let's see.
It's actually probably not a terrible idea. He kind of like rubs his chin as he looks over the interface here.
Let me see here.
Does it seem fuckwithable? The technical term.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm quite familiar with that industry standard. When he gets a chance, he'll probably try and do his quick scan ability here on it as well.
All right, so you don't require a roll for that, right?
Yeah, it's a standard action to get a general sense
Okay.
of the kind of information.
Easy enough. This appears to be some kind of like a check-in procedure interface, and you're able to, with your computer knowledge and your quick scan ability, to see that while this has been kind of presented to you as some sort of cult or cult following, what you see on this display here and the information that you gather looking around is this appears to also come off as almost like a medical office in certain ways. You are able to get a brief scan of past patients who have come in and have received what is listed as augmentations and various different types. One of the more recent ones you see lists an augmentation as a black heart. That's something that sticks out to you. And as you're typing in,
this is one of those places that does the sketchy necrograph stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly.
Funny you mention that, because as you're typing this stuff and looking around, the vid display comes up again of the face of this bald individual who you might assume to be Raishawn.
Yes, a new volunteer to test my latest augmentation. I assume that's why you are here. I don't normally take walk-ins, but I make an exception for those who I deem to be of extraordinary ability.
Is it playing the same stupid video again? Get this shit off.
No, this.
I'm not sure this one.
I know.
This appears to be live.
I don't think this is a recording. It's quite personalized if that is the case. He's kind of like waves his hand in front of it. Are you there?
You are here at quite a fortuitous time. I'm interested in testing out a new augmentation, and I'm willing to provide a significant discount for anyone willing to undergo the procedure.
He is interested.
I'm
gonna
not
look
entirely
at
certain this
Arnott
isn't
and go,
recorded.
Wink.
You kind of see like the face looking around, looking at all of you.
The robot I can't do much with, but you two, you could benefit from my expertise.
Sorry, I had a late lunch, and I know you gotta not eat 24 hours before surgery, and I couldn't do it. Sorry.
So he
looks at you, Arnott.
You are the one interested in the procedure.
Right, yes, obviously, super interested.
Are you bluffing?
I actually I don't know. I think probably not. I think maybe these clones don't have a super long lifespan, so he's vaguely curious about But he's misleading him in his interest of this, I suppose. Regardless,
Go ahead and make
it
me
is
a bluff
probably
check.
some level of deception.
Yeah.
Oh, that missed. Okay,
Ooh.
Wonderful.
not terrible.
Please proceed to the operating room.
The vid
Is
goes
that-
away, and you hear
there he
sound of a
goes.
door unlock near where you are at, Mark.
We should go this way.
Right. So, am I actually becoming undead, or are we stopping short of that bit?
Probably stop it short, but we'll see how it goes. Read the room.
Right. We may need to take. You may need to take one for the team.
Right. A necrograph, that is. Just
Correct.
a roll.
They're only
Got it.
slightly illegal.
Yes, and I'm sure it will have absolutely no negative side effects at all. He nods.
Are there any
I am-
cameras in this
I
room?
am
Yes.
sorry, Kyle. I gotta go to the bathroom. I will be back.
We could take the break now if you guys want.
Yeah, that
Okay.
makes
Alright.
sense.
We're going to go
Pee-pee
ahead and hop
break.
the break so people
Yep.
can go take care of some necessities. We'll be
Tinkle.
back in,
Woo.
what, 10,
Woo.
10, 15 minutes? We'll say 15.
We're all going to go take a necrograph. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right, see
real
you back
quick.
in 15, guys.
All right.
I'm not alone. Why not? Empathy. You suck. Hate me. No love. Reinvent. Get some. Respect. I'm not alone. 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 This is just too much that has happened. I won't give my heart to anyone that I can't deny. That I think that everyone fucking lies. Maybe I find love after I die. Maybe I find love on the other side. Maybe I find love after I die. Maybe I find love on the other side. After I die. After I die.
I can't change the past, so I'm stuck with regret. Pain, 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 pain. There's a difference for us. There's a place for us. Give us now. People like us. People like us. People like us. People like us. There's a difference for us. There's a place for us. Give us fuck. People like us. People like us. People like us. People like us. What'd you say? Be that way. Communicate. I'm ready for anything. Take a stand against my friend. You rate that. Let's leave your ego behind. Happiness makes more sense. Don't try it. And you can still hate me. Face to face any day. You're a thing. And maybe I see you again. You can stop me. I won't give up. This is beginning to get serious. You can stop me. I won't give up. This is beginning to get serious. You can stop me. I won't give up. This is beginning to get serious. You can stop me. I won't give up. Do you hurt? Extrovert. You should look. You're hiding inside yourself. Show your act. Make me laugh. Let's say that. I wish I could be like you. Unprepared. Never scared. Lines declared. I won't let this end. I will face all my pain. Landing down. And maybe I'll see you again. You can stop me. I won't give up. This is beginning to get serious. You can stop me. I won't give up. This is beginning to get serious. You can stop me. I won't give up. This is beginning to get serious. You can stop me. I won't give up. You can stop me. I won't give up. This is beginning to get serious. You can stop me. I won't give up. This is beginning to get serious. You can stop me. I won't give up. This is beginning to get serious. You can stop me. I won't give up. This is beginning to get serious. You can stop me. I feel cursed since birth with
And we are back. Thank you for sticking around for that short little intermission we took there. But we are back. The Disastronauts, the boys here, are within the confines of the Singularity House, which appears to be not only a like a cult combine, but also some sort of medical facility. And you have been welcomed in. The door has opened, or at least unlocked. You haven't opened it yet. In front of you, Mark. The vid screen has gone dark. What would you like to do? All right. Opening. As the door slides open, you see in this room here, it appears to be a very small room. It's bare. It's a small bare alcove that contains two 10-foot long holographic recovery units, small chambers that provide recovery simulations to promote healing for surgery for surgery patients and just recovery in general. Both booths are empty. You hear as you step inside, another door, the door ahead of you unlocked, and you see there's another door on the other end of the hallway. There is also a camera in this room that was focused on the beds, but as you enter, turns and shifts and looks towards you. Yes, there was.
After all, I, as captain, am responsible. I have a limited amount of time. Wait.
Yeah, hold on 1 second, guys. We got some scuffed audio here. Yeah. Why did this audio suddenly change on me for no reason? I've done nothing different. Give me 1 second here. It shouldn't take a break. It should just be real quick here. Somebody say something. Yeah, that's weird. It was going fantastic, but then all of a sudden, we lost everything.
Oh, no, we're back now.
You're
I
back
hear
now.
it.
Yep.
Oh, are we good?
Yep.
Yep.
You should be good now. Wow, that was weird. Apologies for that. Still working out the kinks apparently. But now you are in the recovery room, and the door ahead of you has unlocked. What would you like to do?
Right. So, I'll ashore that's going ashore. He'll kind of like wait and see if anyone else is heading back or heading further along into the room for a moment before he goes ahead and proceeds through the door.
Butt of the ship, butt of the crew.
Door opens.
Right.
In this room, you see what appears to be a surgery room of some kind. There is the cramped chamber with an overhead robotic arm with an integrated lamp and medical imaging devices that are all located on a track above a surgery table, littered with implements and spattered with blood. You also see various surgery implementations. There looks to be some kind of stapler of some kind that's lying on the table. What looks to be a battery. You see some vials with some syringes that seem to have some kind of liquid in them. But the room is empty with the exception of you. There does not appear to be a camera in this room.
I think the stapler is for you, Aster.
Why?
It was a joke.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Ha 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 ha.
I don't
Was
think
that not funny?
I might just not understand it.
There is
Well-
also directly below you, Arnott, there's a storage locker of some kind that
Ooh.
you can't see him, but it's there.
All right. It does seem like the light source is cut off in this room somewhere. Maybe I'm not sure
a
if I'm seeing
problem.
the whole
I
thing.
can add a light source. That's the only downside to these pre-made maps is
Yeah.
sometimes you forget to add a light. How about that? That make it better for you.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Woo.
Nice.
So all the
Think of
blue
that,
lights
man.
pop up too.
Right.
Yeah, I'll
You know
probably
what?
go head over
in
and
universe,
cruise.
as the door opens, the light cuts.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Like a refrigerator.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Refrigerator.
And he'll go over and just start kind of vaguely poking around at the what look to be computer banks here. I'm not sure if that's what we're seeing, but just kind of vaguely try and get an idea of what he's looking at.
These all appear to be medical imaging. There's nothing currently on display because there's nobody currently on the table. But it looks to be something that would display vitals or various medical. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't know, but various medical information. As
Not
well.
a body scientist.
Mark, there is a set of double doors that as you
Yeah,
start.
Mark.
Oh, absolutely. Swinging open these doors. These aren't electrical. These just swing open. Swinging
How
open this
droll.
door. And I think I got the light here too.
Oh.
I don't know if I did it or not. I think I might have.
This is a very strange room.
What are you seeing?
I am not sure. Processing.
Buffering.
What you see as you open these doors here, this massive room features a circle of 8 10-foot-long translucent glass capsules, each of them containing a corpse. The capsules infuse corpses with some sort of there's these connections that go into them. You see some kind of energy, some kind of almost like this liquid that seems to be glowing that is going into these corpses here. There is an arcane circle that appears to be, or some kind of strange circle that appears to be inscribed on the floor.
Can I roll a religion check?
Absolutely, you can go ahead. Or mysticism, or whatever is appropriate.
Right. Or mysticism, that's what I meant.
Yep.
Come on. Do it. Do it. Okay, there might be like 8 mysticism rolls coming.
Anything is possible.
14, right?
Ooh.
All right.
There we go.
Yeah. What you can see, it appears that this energy that, or whatever this liquid is that is being infused in these corpses, is originating from this arcane circle. It appears to be negative energy of some kind. You see that the negatively charged flesh of these corpses in there just seem to begin pulse slightly and twitch slightly as this energy is pulled into them. You can make a physical. This be probably a life science
Medicine?
check.
Life science? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 20.
20. With a 20, this appears to be what is called a necrofabricator. This is what, as Aster kind of speculated towards earlier, what is used, or a form of what is used to create necrographs. Let's see. So this energy going into these corpses is what is creating the necrograph augmentations. Overhead, there are overhead screens that display images from the various cameras that you saw around the building and from the outside. However, what you also see on the eastern side of the room here, an individual, the same individual that was on the vid display earlier, standing at what is roughly 6.5 to probably close to 7 feet tall. This lanky, gray-skinned humanoid with a completely bald, very Megamind-like, dressed in these
Mega Man.
these robes. As he turns around, you can see that the fingers are elongated, very unnatural, almost twice the length of a normal human hand or fingers. He turns around and he goes, "Welcome to my chamber of creation. I am Raishawn."
For some reason, I expected you to have a German accent.
I do not know this German.
It is an old reference. I apologize. Are you the one creating these necrarchs?
I will be the doctor performing the procedure today, yes. Please.
Excellent.
He points towards you, or not.
Step forward. Let me take a look at you.
Go spin around and head into that room. It's like, oh, Mark's talking to someone. We probably ought to go see what's up with that.
Right. I think I might just lay down on one of the beds in the back room.
That's
I get
probably a
squeamish.
terrible idea.
Yeah, I know, but
Who
Is
knows
there-
what will happen when you wake up?
who knows how much blood's gonna be on those beds?
Are there any ventilation shafts in here?
You and your ventilation shafts.
I love them.
You do not see any ventilation shafts, unfortunately.
Okay.
As you step into the room, and this individual, he kind of saunters over to you, looking you up and down, puts his long, lanky fingers on your arms and
Salad fingers.
like turns you around. Salad fingers, yeah.
Yes, you will do nicely. Now, I will tell you that the procedure will take a couple of hours, but the result will be quite extraordinary. Tell me.
I am this crewmate's captain. I require information on the procedure as well as the implant before I give my final authorization. This
Certainly.
man wanted to become part dead, which I very much disagree with. But I am a kind and understanding captain. I want my crew to have happiness and a good existence.
You hear Aster coughing from the other.
Gonna say,
That is understandable. I am a medical professional, and I promise that the procedure has a 94% success rate.
I require
Pretty
more
good.
information
Certainly.
beyond the success rate.
How much do you know about necrographs?
assume
Pretend-
nothing at all. Yes.
Yes.
Well then, I shall tell you that the procedure that I wish to perform today will install an undead adrenal gland into your body that will provide you with special abilities, necrotic in nature, of course, that will make you immune to certain things.
What are the side effects of such a procedure?
Typically, there are none. In fact, physically, there are none at all. Socially, of course, there are a few ramifications, and there are not a lot of people that hold what I do to be in high regard. Necrographs tend to be a controversial subject.
Yes, I am one of the people that hold necrographs in a very low regard. Again, I reiterate, I am only here because of my crew member. I stiffly pat Arnott on the back.
Well then, I will list to you the properties that you will gain from this procedure, as well as the one potentially negative side effect.
Thank you.
Upon the attachment of the adrenal gland, the individual here, you said his name was Arnott, will be granted immunity to all things cold and poisonous. However, there is, as I said, the one side effect. There is a tendency for a person to undergo this procedure to become temporarily confused at times. It is a strange undead graft that can cause your body to reject it at times. You might find yourself in a state of confusion every now and then, but it will only be temporary. It will
Arnott.
pass.
I unfortunately cannot allow you to get this procedure done. You are our pilot. It is imperative that you maintain full mental functioning the entire time you are working.
I mean, to be fair, I spend a decent portion of that time watching Buffy the Space Vampire Slayer anyway. But
That is a violation of your duties. You are at half rations.
I have not seen any company handbook, okay, specifically enumerating these duties, so I
I
challenge
am
that as
currently
well.
using 36% of my memory and 48% of my CPU writing out an employee handbook. It is
Excellent.
currently 647, 48, 49 pages long.
Good. As soon as that's delivered, then I believe it would take effect. And he smiles widely. He says, is there
So-
any other risks that one ought to be concerned
So I will tell you, especially with Mark's life science check there. So what he is offering to graft into you or not is a Mark 1 undead adrenal gland that has been overloaded with necrotic energy to provide additional immunities. What that means mechanically, it would grant you immunity to cold damage and poison damage. However, the side effect, as he mentions, because you rolled so high on your life science check, I would tell you that the side effect is that the first time that you would attack or cast a spell in combat, you will become confused for 1d4 rounds.
That's funny.
So, when do we begin the procedure?
He kind of shrugs. He's looking over. He says, I was actually under the impression that this may be a place where one could secure and he looks around and leans in. It's like a heart, a dark heart, black heart. Is that black heart? Hmm. He kind of looks at him. Yeah.
This procedure is done here as well. Yes, is that something that you're interested in?
Yes.
Potentially. Yes. Yeah.
That was the original procedure.
Right, that was talked about over at the shit, I forget what it's called now. The Dead Club Dead. Because that's a great name for it. But the shit. I can't remember.
The Revenant's Urge.
Yeah, Revenant's Urge. That sounds right.
Right?
That is
Revenant's
the one.
Urge?
I think that's it. Regardless, over at the other club there.
Strange. You are not the first individuals to come and talk to me about Black Hearts recently.
There is an individual there who is talking Black Hearts up.
Would this happen to be a female with blood red eyes?
Yes.
Oh, it appears that my luck has not come to me this day. It is clear you have been sent by that vile woman. Be gone from this place. I have no need for you.
I
Nice.
do not know what you are referring to.
Make a bluff check.
Wow. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, I
knew
was
it
going to
was coming.
say a lot of dissembling.
Oh my
Hey,
god!
hey.
Oh, nat 20, where it counts.
It does.
Thank you. 23. I don't know. That's still not great in like the scope of DCs, but we're gonna go.
Nat 20's a nat 20.
Yeah,
you know
nat
what I'm
20 is
saying?
nat 20. Yeah.
Well, it beat his sense
Good as it could
motive,
be.
So,
Oh, it must just be a coincidence then. A couple of individuals came here not too long ago asking about a shipment of mine that is rightfully mine, by the way, that she has deemed to be something of hers. I thought maybe she had sent you as well. I apologize.
No, you misunderstand. She did. It was her information that led us here, but it was the information that you had a large supply of black hearts that you were willing to use on individuals interested in such a procedure that brought us here.
That is true.
She, yes, is trying to hire someone to attempt to steal your shipment of black hearts, but that is not our concern.
Then what is your concern? Clearly,
A
you've not
black
come.
heart for my crew member here.
Oh. Well, it's not the procedure I was expecting to perform today, but if that is something you're interested in, it is not the experiment that I wanted to do, so this would be of normal operating cost, you understand. But I'm more than...
I have a proposal for you.
I'm listening.
You understand that this woman that we got this information from has targeted your supply of black hearts.
Yes, that has been made apparent.
Well, we have information as to her plan and the individuals she has approached. Perhaps we could provide some sort of protection as a crew for exchange of a black heart. You have many of them, and we could provide extra security to your shipment in exchange for one. We are, as you would say, mercenaries.
Yes, I could tell by the way you dress. Well, it...
And my hat.
And your hat.
Make a diplomacy check.
All right, guys.
Use another
let's-
nat 20 here if we
Here we go,
really
yeah.
wanted it. I do.
Let's see if my luck holds up. Because diplomacy is even worse than bluff. So, let's go. That is a 4.
Nailed it.
Well,
Awesome.
I am afraid I cannot part with any of my black hearts, as they are needed for a shipment that I am to make myself. Rishae, a harlot over at Revenant's urge, has attempted to breach the contracts here at Vagrant's Hollow, and take a delivery from me to bolster her own coffers, you see. I was the original procurer of the Harlequin's Prayer when it arrived in orbit, despite what she might have told you. I paid good money for them, all those bodies. Clearly, you see I have a need for them. I am a medical practitioner, the highest regard.
Of course.
There is a planet in the near space called Vesk 2. You may have heard of it.
No, please explain further.
There is a large number of individuals, one of the native beings of this planet, that have fallen on hard times, and they require a large number of black hearts in order to augment and ensure the survivability of their race. It was originally my contract. I was to ship out 50 tons of black hearts to Vesk 2. In return, they would offer me a hefty number of credits in return. But Rishae jumped on, snuck aboard, and took half of the shipments, half the bodies that were mine by right. Now she claims the rest are hers as well. No doubt she wants to take the contract for herself.
Yes.
Can I, listening from outside the door, can I get a sense motive on that?
Sure, go ahead.
Nice.
20.
He appears to be filled with disdain and hatred towards this woman, but other than that, appears not to be. He feels like he's being truthful as far as what he's saying.
That it was actually his to begin with?
Yeah.
So perhaps we come to another deal.
What do you propose?
My crew member here, again, only wants a black heart for his own sick and twisted fantasies to becoming immortal. I am, of course, opposed to the practice, but I am a captain of a mercenary ship and crew. We are low on funds and in need of a better engine in order to escape outside into the vast. You are going to receive a large amount of credits, and you are carrying merchandise that is targeted by outside forces. Perhaps we provide security in exchange for some of those credits.
Or the engine!
Right, that is what we actually would need.
Or the engine, yes,
increase
on
our
the ship
speed
that
for the
is
vast.
lawfully yours. You seem to only need the bodies.
This is true. And with this information
Yes.
that you have brought to me, I may be able to accept your proposal. Half of my shipment is already lost. It is in the hands of Rishae. And if the individuals that approached me earlier were any indication, it would seem that they are already en route to make this delivery for her, giving her the credits and giving me none. I have on hand enough black hearts to fulfill the delivery requirements. But you say you are in need of a drift engine. You are in luck.
Yes.
I happen to know where one is that is not aboard the Harlequin's Prayer.
What luck? Please, tell us more.
What luck?
I admit its location is a bit dangerous, but mercenaries of no doubt your quality, should have no
Yes.
issues acquiring it. I can give you the location of the drift engine, and I can be convinced to give you this black heart if you take my shipment and beat the others to Vesk 2 to make this delivery.
We have a experimental ship. I believe that we can do this.
Wonderful. Well then,
And perhaps a good price on that, operation down the line. He kind of gives like some finger guns, I suppose.
if you have room for the hearts that I have, and if you procure the drift engine in the dumps and return to me, I will give you the black heart you so desire.
He nods.
Excellent. Then we are agreed. We will accept your shipment, find the drift engine, and beat the... Wait. I am maybe confused on the order of this operation.
Right, we go to Vesk to deliver the goods, and then we get to
Return.
secure the engine, as I recall, right?
Yeah, we won't need a big old engine for into space travel.
He screams from the other room.
We're totally fine on that front.
To travel to near space, you would not need a significant drift engine, but if the other crew has already taken flight, they may arrive before you.
Well, all we have to do is beat them in the delivery of the hearts, not beat them in the space that the delivery is taking place.
That is logic.
Right, we
Sound logic.
ought to just probably make our way as quick as possible then. Is there, where should we take delivery of your cargo so we can move along to Vesk 2 with it?
I have many children at my disposal who would be more than happy and more than willing to bring the cargo to your ship. Are you parked outside of the Vagrant's Hollow?
Yes,
And what is the name of your ship?
the Disastronaut.
I'll send him coordinates, probably, I assume. Our
Our parking validation.
Right, yeah. We're right next to the B pillar.
Very
Mark
Toward
starts
the second cart caddy. Sorry.
Mark starts reciting the 200, 300 number, identification number of the ship.
That's probably not required. I imagine prototype it'd be low, right? Anyway, sorry.
Oh yeah, I guess
We got number
serial
one.
number. Yeah,
Right.
serial number. Yeah, so he's just
And
going
XO1.
0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Very well.
I
then.
enjoyed that.
Oh, and if we're doing all this for you, out of the kindness of our non-blackened hearts, then you could do us the service of maybe get your children, quote unquote, to bring that engine to us on our return. After all this sweat-worthy work we to do for you, right?
Make a diplomacy check.
Why me? Does anyone have good diplomacy?
Yeah.
No,
Awesome.
we are a bunch of spurgs.
12.
Ooh, mine is the best, it appears, at a +1.
Ooh, very good.
While my children are many, and some might say indisposable, I cannot afford to lose any. I cannot send them to the dump. I'm sorry.
We can sort out those details once this job is completed, of course.
Yes.
Now,
On that, do you know how big a drift engine is?
Honestly, I have no idea, really.
He's trying to spread his arms out wide enough, but he can't.
It's like 4 of me that way, and
I
about
figured
like
it was like
6
a
of me
briefcase
that
you
way.
just strap onto a regular engine. He just shrugs.
One more thing.
yes.
Do you have any food? Asterix is 26 hours away from starving to death.
Stop telling me and other people that.
It's relevant at this point, to be fair. Also, organic here who needs to eat as well.
Yes, you are farther out.
He
It's
looks
true.
around the chamber at all the undead corpses that are surrounding you.
I am afraid there is not much need for food and sustenance in my building.
Nutrient paste.
I'm not sure they need that at all.
Yeah, but he's
Maybe
got
wrong.
clients, right?
Do you have any
Most of his clients are
bin
dead as well.
or something where someone who was alive comes in, becomes undead, and then puts the things they no longer have use for?
Like a Maz bar.
I am afraid all that gets dumped into the ravine.
Where is the oh,
We
I
crossed
know.
that
You know
coming
where the
in,
ravine is, yeah.
Yes.
There's some horrible monster in the bottom that's eaten all of our Mars bars, I'm sure. You know,
Oh, you must mean my pet Lazarus.
probably.
I assume.
Yes.
He is what I use to get rid of all the unwanted parts.
Sure.
Yes.
Well, we probably ought to hit the old dusty trail then.
Are you
Before my crew starves to death.
Are you
That's a
certain I cannot
right pressing concern.
convince you to undergo the experimental procedure?
I was quite set on the heart, actually, and I'm afraid it's, as exciting as this experiment is that you're discussing, I am afraid that I will have to hold out for, what we've come for.
And as my grandfather always said, time is engines. Let's get out of here.
Is that, yeah? You just, or not like
I don't
shoot up
even
his
know my
brows, like-
grandfather.
Time is engines?
And it is quite a
Thank you.
disappointment, but I will not hold you. You have much to do, and little time to do it in.
You have
Balls.
been very cordial.
Thank
There's
you.
a click. Cowpoke. Click.
And please, if you run into any individuals looking to get some experimental procedures done, please send them my way.
Yes.
Absolutely. We'll give you a wonderful review on Yelp as well.
Oh, I have.
Yes.
Spelp.
4 stars.
I always have 4 stars because those who perish under my procedures, they end up serving me anyway.
Right. That's a great point. Survivability rates really aren't super relevant in your line of work, are they?
I am still very much against the practices that are done here.
Perhaps one day I can convince you otherwise.
I do not believe that will be the case. Goodbye.
He hit some buttons on his
Wave.
keypad, on his little data pad, and the door. Well, the door you came in wasn't locked or anything, but the other doors they slide open, and you are easily walked out. The cameras, they still follow you as you walk out, but you are let out to your Iguanodons. You're not accosted in any sort of way. I assume you take them back across the same way you brought them over.
Yes.
I'm not
Quick as
gonna
possible.
I'm not gonna go through that ordeal again. I want to assume if you were successful once, you'll be successful again. And yeah, I assume you mount up and head back to Vagrant's Hollow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed.
Interesting. You make a roll.
Right. So,
Oh, here's your hat back.
thank you. So, and yeah, he takes it and says, Are we actually planning on doing this delivery thing? It seems like it would be more profitable, but we could also just go back to the other lady with the cargo, could we not?
Yeah, but now, A, we don't have to give our bodies over. B,
Would we?
it.
I thought that
No.
was once we died.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about her, though, if we're not
But
making a deal with
once
her.
we have completed the deal with this horrible body merchant, we will be able to acquire a drift engine without holding to the pact that requires you two to donate your bodies to the woman.
But
Right.
I'm less concerned about that, really. I suppose it just seems the path of least resistance is all.
I was
we're
not
about to
aware.
be delivered the objective of her task to the hold of our ship, as I understand.
This is true, but I do not want to be known as a double crosser.
Yeah, you'd be a triple crosser at that point.
Yes.
I mean, we are double crossing her then if we don't follow through with our task, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That
But
checks
the
out.
second double cross does not count. It cancels out the first double cross. 2 double crosses equal a normal, culturally accepted transaction. 3 double crosses equals 1 double cross,
And that's a
making
bunch of
you a
X's.
traitor.
Right, and 4, you're playing with yourself. As
Right, right.
That's clip worthy.
I mean, also, you got to think this way. I don't have to be out in the vac suit taking a drift engine apart and then installing it on the Oz. It'd be
Right.
a whole thing. At least here, we could just
That's
bring
a
it
fair
up,
point.
and I could.
We are going to some place called the Dump that was too dangerous for children.
That is what he said, right?
Fair enough.
But let's see if we can make the shipment first, right?
He nods,
Yes.
yeah.
You make your way back across the desert with no issues. Lucky again, man. Back to Vagrant's Hollow. It is about the middle of the night when you arrive. Revenant Surge still going on in the distance. Town appears to be relatively empty. You see the occasional person wandering around. But yeah, you're back at Vagrant's Hollow.
All right, let's stay away from that place. Let's get to Rika and let's get to the ship.
Yes,
Yeah,
as
drop
fast
these
as possible.
Iguanodons off here.
Yes.
I suppose, right?
Do we have the other 75 credits?
We do. And he pats his belt.
Good.
All right.
Pay the man.
So you go ahead.
Oh, maybe we just leave the credits on one of the Iguanodons and get the hell out of here.
Sure, and he'll he'll use fabricate scrap to produce a series of paper clips and janky ass bind them together and then attach them to the saddle of one of the Iguanodons, and as we I assume just break into the stable and leave them there.
Yeah.
The stables are open. I mean, it's like a
Okay.
open
Yeah.
area.
I guess yeah.
And you said you gathered Tarika from the
yeah.
saloon?
Yes.
All right, yeah.
Sure.
She goes, man, oh my, you guys were gone for quite a while. I wasn't expecting you to be gone so long. Well,
Yes.
I had
Asterix is technically starving.
Stop telling people that, and me. Stop telling me that.
You haven't eaten for 2 days.
Well,
Tarika, do you have any food? Anything?
Here's some beef jerky.
Oh, please. Oh.
He will hunch on the ground like a goblin. Start munching at it and looking around.
Mark is just staring at you.
Well, I was wondering when you guys were going to come back. I got a job for us.
Oh, good. We do too.
Tarika, your
I haven't
efforts have been
already
in vain.
agreed to it. You're so mean to her. I forgot.
Well, I know
what
we
is
was in
it
need of-
that you need?
It does not matter.
All right, well, if you change your mind, I told the gentleman that you might be interested, so.
We are not.
Okay.
Well, let's save that until we get back.
Without even, unheard, it's hard to say that we're not. Perhaps it was run across this path and we'll get 1 million credits.
Does it have anything to do with Vesk too?
That would be quite convenient.
No, the little information I have, it regards
You hear.
some derelict ship and out in space. Sometimes about a day's travel from here. I don't have much on the details. I gave him our transponder code so he can get in contact when we get back to the ship. But he was offering a pretty hefty sum. It was like 7,500 credits.
And was it the ship that was mentioned? That wasn't the Harlequin's Prayer, was it?
No, he said this one was called the Final Endeavor.
He nods. Well, that's at least worth, throwing in the old bank of ideas.
Well,
That is an ominous name.
I didn't agree to the offer. I told him I'd talk it over with you guys, and if you want to reach out to him, I have his information.
We do not.
Not now, but we will.
We're on
Thank
a
you,
bit of a
Tarika.
time crunch at the moment,
I
but I
understand.
think that's the best credits we're going to find, probably around here.
Well, at least keep it in mind.
He nods.
And,
Arnott will do that.
and you guys
I certainly will.
head back to the ship.
Yeah.
All right. You make your way out of Vagrant's Hollow, back into the set of double doors, the bay doors that open up, and to the darkened staircase, the gray metal hallway. You go up to 400 so feet. Back
Get all our
into
weapons back.
Get all your weapons back. Well, you guys were down there a long time. Well, I got them sitting right here. I promise. Nothing happened to them. And here you
Good.
go.
Long weekend.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy the stay here at Vagrant's Hollow, and please come back and see us again. If you wanna season pass, I get you a season pass.
All right. That's enough. Great. Thank you.
What, do we get to cut in line at the stable, or is it just like sighing as he walks
I
out,
assume
like-
you put back on your vac suits as the depressurization is done. Doors open back up again. You're able to walk back out, and your ship is sitting there. There was another ship that was there that is no longer in the spot that was kind of part where you guys were at. It was one that flew over your head as you guys were approaching.
The goblin ship, yeah.
No, thinking back, this actually was probably the Winter's Morn,
Oh, right.
but it is now gone.
Yeah.
You get
Goblin
back
ship is
on
already
to the Disastronaut, no issues. And what would you like to do?
I would like to go to the yield the engine compartment. Since we're pressed for time, I would like to do a little bit of constructive maintenance on the engine.
All right. What are you trying to do?
I would like to increase the speed
Paint it red.
just a bit, just
Paint
a
it red.
smidge above safety standards.
On the drift engine?
Are we gonna have to jump through the drift
If you're-
for?
To go to Vesk 2, you have to go back to near space. Well, you're in near space, but it's nowhere. You know Vesk 2 to be. You'd have
Then yes, the drift engine.
All right.
If possible.
Go ahead and make that engineering check. But failures are not good here.
Yeah.
Oh
Break
boy.
Everything. Oof.
Oh.
18.
18. You do as much tweaking that you can do without breaking anything.
If I get that +2 from the engineering compartment.
Eh,
No, I'm not in there.
No.
I'm not in there.
you don't. Luckily, you don't manage to break anything. But
Luckily, more like
No.
always.
But through your diagnostics and the little bit you've managed to do, you are pretty confident that the basic drift engine that you have now is performing at its most optimal power.
Okay. I'm gonna slap a band-aid on it anyway. Yeah. My calling card. Get out of there.
Right.
Arnott,
Yes, Mark.
please take us out. Vesk 2.
You realize as soon as we take off from this planet, the ruse where your captain has ended, right?
I am hoping that if I keep it up, you both eventually accept it as part of your new reality.
You hear
Good luck with that. As he
from
starts
behind
to-
you as Astor walks in with his fucking torch again.
Mark, you're gonna have to bend down. I'm taking your hat away.
Please, no.
Mark, we're gonna do this the easy way or the hard
No,
way.
Please don't. Stop.
You can keep the badge.
When did he get a badge? Is
Well,
the-
it's the badge on his hat.
Oh.
The
Alright,
triune
anyway,
with skulls.
that you did. Yeah, I remember that now.
Very
yeah,
well.
I'll start taking off as well.
I'm gonna take his hat off, but I'm for sure going to weld that badge back onto his chest.
All right. Well then, Arnott, I need a 3d6 roll from you.
Oh, good. Great.
These
I
always
want-
go super well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna be fun.
And I have
It's
rolled.
going to determine whether we succeed or fail this mission.
I
you
have
know that,
rolled
right?
already for the Winter's Morn.
Ugh. Ugh.
Ooh.
I don't know. Is it
Low is good.
numbers
Low is
bad?
I
good.
think low is good. I
Oh,
think this
okay.
might be days that we're taking, so low would be
So-
better.
Okay, okay.
hopefully.
I am going to. I got to add in the time it took you to go to the Singularity House and come back.
Sure.
But yes, you rolled one of the 7 days plus the time you spent doing that little mission there. So you
7 and a
blast
half.
off from Lucinda 6 into conventional space. Fire up the drift engines. The portal appears. You guys shoot out. So you guys are in the drift for 7 days. In this downtime, is there anything that you want to do? Remember, you are cut off from all regular plane, normal material plane, infosphere and stuff, but you have 7 days on the ship.
Voice changer, please. I would like to try to create a voice changer that can pretty well, like strongly, mimic the voices of other people.
Ooh, like a yak back. Anybody remember
Yes.
those?
Very good.
So, right?
Oh, sorry. Go on.
If you got anything you want to do, go ahead and now's the time.
So I would like to go find Tarika.
Okay, yeah, she is in the tech lab.
Terrified.
Tarika,
Yes, Mark?
I would like to let you know that I was playing a captain. I do not feel any ill will towards you.
You see just a sigh of relief and a sense of relief come over. Oh, bless your heart. You were very convincing. That's you would make a very good captain, Mark.
I know.
The Han Solo.
She comes over and like gives a
You
hug,
want
hugs you
Solo.
around your leg. Well, I appreciate you coming and letting me know. I didn't think you really felt that way.
Oh, I still think that you are the most useless member of the team, but I do not hold it against you. You are still an individual, part of the whole of the universe, and are just as important as any other part of it, though you are very small.
Well, I've known you for some time now, Mark, and I want to say that I'll take that as a compliment and as acceptance. But I will strive harder to do better. If there's anything you think I need to do on the ship or anything I could do to help improve how you feel about me, please let me know. I'll do whatever I can.
If I witness you making a great sacrifice in towards the team or the ship, I will have assumed that you have taken it seriously.
All right, Mark, I'll take that into consideration.
You know, other than leaving her life behind,
Right?
not worrying about
I will
her
cry if she
job.
dies because of
I
snacks.
will struggle.
You're gonna
Thank
see
you.
me. It's ugly.
I'm gonna boohoo cry.
Nobody wants
This
that.
was a good talk.
All right. Anything else
You
guys
hug
wanna
her
do?
back, Mark.
Animal.
7
I
days.
am going. I'm gonna lean down and go. I'm not going to hug you.
Let go of my leg.
Well, I hope one day I do something that makes you want to.
I am not a hugger.
Oh, everybody's a hugger. You just gotta kind of embrace it. Come into it.
Embrace it, because
hugs. Got it.
Thank you.
And 7 days in the drift passed.
Wah, wah. I'm trying to think if there's a. Yeah, I don't think. I think Arnott's going to try and acquaint Mark with some of the like classic film noir era, videos that are still available. He was on the cowboy kick last, so he's going to try and get him on the 1920s gangster kick. See if that sticks.
As the end of those 7 days come around, you are informed by Tarnold that your arrival at the destination is at hand. The drift portal appears. You shoot out of the drift, and you arrive just outside of Vesk 2 in conventional space. You see around Vesk 2 is off in the distance. You see around it a dense swarm of hundreds of immense creatures floating in space. These creatures have massive tentacles that radiate bright bioluminescent colors and translucent gelatinous bodies that flash with inner fire and electricity. Make a mysticism check if you'd like.
Ooh.
I will abstain.
Rolled 18.
Ooh, 24.
Both of you recognize these creatures as pyrozoa, magical beasts whose amorphous bodies produce and vent superheated plasma through their pores. Beyond the swarming pyrozoa lies Vesk 2, an ocean planet dotted with sprawling islands. And as you sit there and take all this in, you see out of your viewport another portal appear. And moments after your arrival, the winter morn appears, well within range of your sensors. You hear a video comm initiate.
Attention,
Put it on.
everyone. Yeah.
As you put it on display, you see the image of Neva, the captain of the Winter Morn. Can't say I'm surprised to see you all again. Had a feeling you were on the same job as us. I'm impressed you managed to beat us here, though. What say
We have a better ship.
Well, put your money where your mouth is. What say we settle this with a race? First one through this cluster of fire jellies and on the planet is the first in line to talk to the buyer. Deal?
I'm not florid.
Very well. And yeah, he'll
We
go ahead and
accept.
just gun it right as soon as they say very well. You know,
Without
like,
even
okay.
waiting for an answer from you, the Winter Morn ignites its thrusters and surges towards Vesk 2, deftly weaving between the Pyrozoa. And I think we're going to pick up here next week.
Yeah.
A ship race, space race to the planet Vesk 2.
Awesome.
We go 12 hexes, you bitch.
Right?
We'll see.
Catch us.
Maybe that's a lot. I don't know.
Well, we're gonna see if our ship kicks ass or sucks dick. So
And one of those is
Wait.
gonna be the bad
I was
one.
going to say one
Right.
of those means winning.
one of
The other
those
one means
means
losing.
winning.
Is
Yep.
that which what?
It
put a
depends
pin in
on the
that.
ass and the dick, man.
That's,
You know,
yeah,
whether
that's
a
also
good
my
thing.
grandfather always
Nice.
said.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in and putting up with the minor technical difficulties that we are still working our ways through. We appreciate every view you give us. We appreciate you taking the time to watch us and put up with the shenanigans that we go through. If you decide that we're worth a follow, we greatly appreciate it. We stream on Tuesdays, Disastronauts. Mondays, same time, Darning Watch. Thursdays every other Thursdays, Table 13. Fridays, The Misadventures of the Accidental Travelers, Darning Watch and Misadventures, both DM'd by Kyron there. Please, if you like what we do here, check those out as well. Come join the Discord. Give us a shout out on Twitter. We got all our Twitter handles there. Just
I don't use it. Don't talk to me.
I'll make sure they get the information. If you want any Twitter, send to me. Any fan mail, I read them out on the screen on stream. I've done it in the past.
Any questions about me can be directed through Kyle. He probably knows.
I know way too much about John. Way too much. But yeah, anything else I'm forgetting to add there, Kyron?
We have Patreon. You can throw a couple bucks to us and help improve our streams. Buy Eric a better trash can. Yeah, a third trash can.
Ooh,
That's what it
I do want to
Just
see how
get
high those
another
can
of the
stack up.
same.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The utility breaks down. It's, diminishing returns.
So
The
yeah,
top one is now a container for other
if
things.
we
Sorry.
get to a higher Patreon goal, Eric gets a third trash can. We're gonna throw that in there. Yep. Every $100 a patron goes up, Eric gets our trash can until
Probably
he's
room
gotta
for
move.
5 or 6. Yeah.
yeah. Right.
Oh man. But yes.
All right.
Thank you all for watching. Come back next week to see the space race and what awaits the crew when they get to Vesk 2. I guess this is goodbye for now. So
Bye.
ta-ta.
Bye.
I'm waving weird. Bye.
It's the opposite.
I can't change the past, so I'm stuck with regret. Pain, 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 pain. fight for us. Give a fuck. People like us. People like us. People like us. People like us.